contractor consultant with the city. So I work with several different mayors. And now we're seeing like a really, with Mayor Woofing, you're just seeing a real progressive attempt. And he's a part of that creative community too.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a real aggressive attempt to do things for that community that I've never seen before.
Right. What's up, everybody, man? Welcome back to another episode of the What You Mean podcast. I am your host, LaCheston.
I'm your co-host, Kim. Hey, y'all.
There go that voice that y'all miss and love so much, man. Shout out to the MUA, you know what I'm saying, in this thing, man. So if you're listening right now, you already know we appreciate you listening and checking us out. But before I get on rambling and doing what I do on set today, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it over to our guest for the night, man. You got the floor. Introduce yourself to the people, man.
Okay. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing today?
Man, we coolin'.
All right. Well, my name is Russ McLinton. I'm glad to be here, first of all.
Glad to have you.
And I've got this brand called Urbanham.com. Been around 22, 23 years. Been around a long time. So, and we focus, much of what y'all doing back then, the creative community. That's advanced so much now. You guys are doing so much more than what we ever imagined, but it's awesome.
That's what's up, man. We appreciate that introduction, man, so much, man. They got on me, man. My producer got on me and said that I really was not, leaving much room for my co-host, man. So I'm gonna shut my mouth a little bit tonight, man. But we gonna make sure we get to it because, I'm honestly a fan, Russ. I've been a fan since I met you on when y'all used to do the Greek Week stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And y'all had the party bus.
Yeah.
And the party bus would go and hit like 5 or 6 black establishment. You were filming us getting on and off the bus, going inside the establishment, patronizing and supporting these black owned businesses and things of that nature. But y'all had like a whole series of events, like some Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This particular year, I remember it ending. Is it the wine loft or Steel that they had on the corner before it went out?
Yeah.
Y'all had everybody out there playing cards, smoking cigars and stuff like that. Y'all had live music on the inside. So before we even get to Urban Birmingham, my first question for me personally, and it's for the culture and it's for the people out there, what happened to those? Does that still exist?
It does still exist, but after the pandemic, we kind of slowed down with a lot of the getting out personal stuff. So we did a lot of stuff online. Like we actually did that weekend. It was called Grown and Greek Weekend.
Exactly, that's the name of it.
We did that online the next year. And and Chocolate, my old lady, she's a DJ, she's AK.
Okay.
So we had she had a DJ from each organization perform online.
Okay.
Then we did this documentary, which was real cool. The documentary, we talked to 5 pastors from each organization.
Okay.
And we talked about, the Greek community and the church.
Okay.
And how they, kind of come together, and then what's keeping them apart and what's helping our communities grow and all that good stuff. Still online on YouTube.
That's what's up. I'm going to have to go and check that out.
It's called Divine Sunday.
Okay.
So check it out, Divine Sunday.
Okay. So when did you first encounter a meeting with Russ? Because I've actually met him. That's what I was telling him earlier before we started filming. I actually met him in like 2011, 12. It was at Steel.
Okay.
Forever ago.
Well, I remember first meeting LaCheston, he coming out hanging with the Sigma brothers.
Yeah. So
I'd see him out, and then he started breaking his camera out and stuff. So
I'd
see him out. He didn't really hang out a whole lot like all the rest of them.
Man, I still don't even. I'm for real. I still don't even do that now. Like for real.
It was always good to see him because we didn't see him much.
Don't do that, Kim. We've been cool. Don't do that. Don't
when
do
he came out, that was good.
I'm just kidding.
Well, and it's the thing, man. I think I'm one of them people, man. And again, thank you for giving the platform and the podcast the kudos that you gave it, because I caught that gem that you said about what you guys were trying to do for the culture and give back to the community and make sure that their involvement and the knowledge is out there with your movement and what you were doing, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays it's kind of shifted with everybody wanting to see the content and all this, that, and the third. And that's essentially what we try to do, man. When we come here and we kick it on the podcast, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Sometimes we come in here and we really have a real good time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have guests coming here where it's tear jerkers, and they're telling stories about things that were life altering and life changing for not only them but the people that were connected to them around them. But the ultimate goal of the What You Mean podcast is for, it don't matter what you coming here for, we want you to leave with a little bit of something. And I think that's what's great about you being a guest here today, is I just simply know that what you've done for the culture, for Birmingham, you know what I'm saying, for the network connections that you have and people that you rub shoulders with, that this is definitely going to be a dope interview, because we're meeting on the same ground, the same places. Like, your network is definitely way more advanced than mine, you know what I'm saying? But I can say this about you: the couple of times that I have reached out to you with ideas or stuff that I wanted to do, your answer's always been the same. Well, give me something so I can look it over, and we'll set up a time to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So that really matters. So I just wanted to play that back real quick and give you kudos for shouting the podcast out, man, for what you've done, and actually seeing that we're trying to reciprocate that with the platform that we're trying to build. Right.
So who is Russ McLinton, for those that don't know you?
So let's give you a little bit of my past. I'm a Birmingham boy. I grew up here, went to West End High School.
Okay.
Then West End. West End. That's our
Pilot.
School is going, Pilot, but I was on the Jackson Elementary side. So
okay.
It was off the chain in Pilot. Anyway, I went off to school, UAB for a while. That didn't go well, so I went to the military, came back, went to Troy, had a family, got grown kids now. So in between that, I was coming back from, I was living up in the D.C. Metro. Mm-hmm. So I came back, and then while I was coming through Atlanta, for some reason, I was in Godsend. It's like Urbanham.com just hit me in the head. Mm-hmm. And so I back up a little bit. I went to D.C. I finished my degree in computer science from Troy.
Okay, I'm a computer science major, too.
I know, we talked about that. So I went to Troy, and when I graduated, I ended up getting a job in D.C. So I had a great opportunity there. I was like one of the 50 interns that was brought there to work with this guy named General Edmonds. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, this was kind of like internet. It was like bringing the internet out. Yeah. So I got a really early chance in working with the internet and the war fighters.
Okay.
So our job was to create web pages and multimedia and stuff like that, so that the people out fighting wars in other countries could order whatever they needed. Okay. Or they could talk to their bosses or higher ranking or commanders, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of how I got my start, through that with the internet. And so I was in D.C. 5 or 6 years, and I was like, no, I'm just ready to get on out of here. So I took a job in Huntsville. Okay. Came back, and I worked there with Consolidated Space Operations Contract, and it was cool. I wanted to do my own thing. And I had already kicked off Urbanham. Okay. And so that was just me just kind of grinding for 5 years. So whenever I meet somebody doing what y'all doing, I just say, you got to keep going. Because I think my first check, I was like 5 years deep in Urbanham. It was just me going to work. Like I heard you say, you working and trying to make it pop out. It's
bruh.
That's what I did.
And I think that's what I had to explain to my significant other the other day, because I'm creating a podcast with her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just something to help us, give us something to do to, kind of sort of put something into a brand for us. And I was like, I think what a lot of people don't realize, like, I have a team here, and I thank God for them every single night, because it took years to find people that were like-minded, that realized that it ain't a whole bunch of money right here on this table. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you see the direction that we're trying to take it in, and you could devote a little bit to your time to it, when we start getting paid, we all get paid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make it as easy for you as I can. But what I was trying to explain to her, I was like, I'm going to set this stuff up. You're going to come in here and sit and talk on this microphone, and then you think it's done. Right. But it's not. Right. I said, I got to take this audio and get this audio right. That's right. I said, I got to take pictures. I got to edit. I got to add lower thirds. I got to add transitions. I got to make sure stuff look the right way. And then once I do that, then I got to put it through handbraking, reduce the size so the upload don't take that long to get on the YouTube. Right. And then once it do that, then I got to share it on social media sites to let people know that it's available, then it's out. I was like, a lot of people don't understand the back part of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I love what we do. Like this platform has created an outlet for me. Like, I'm a real fun person. I like to have fun with everybody. I'm a really giving person. I'll try to help anybody that I can. And this little podcast that we're trying to build from Birmingham, Alabama, and we're not going nowhere. Like, it's going to be a Birmingham, Alabama thing. You know what I'm saying? When I reach out to people in Atlanta or surrounding places, I let them know, hey, we're not doing it over the phone. We're not doing screen. Hey, let us know what you need to get here, and we can make a decision on if we can afford to actually have you as a guest or not to come in. But no, we're not shipping it to Atlanta just because that's where all the people are. Like, Birmingham is Birmingham. At Vegas say, we don't want to be Atlanta. We Birmingham. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's the beauty of it too. Like, you know, there's just so much talent and just creativity that is here. You know, and people actually need to see that, especially like if they are in bigger cities, because they sleep on Birmingham.
Right.
And just even like when I lived in Atlanta, I would tell people, "Oh, I'm from Birmingham." You're from Birmingham? Like, for real? Real? Yes. I'm from Birmingham, you know, and I think like it's just so imperative that, you know, you have that good core circle of people that get together that are like minded, and they see the bigger picture and the end goal of what it is that we're trying to do. So
yeah, and I think that's, I mean, ultimately, like for our platform, that's what makes it go. Right. Even down to our engineer, like he's a very known person over the city. I wouldn't know him if it had not been for Kim. So yeah, the great thing about Birmingham.
Well, you know, you were saying something earlier I thought was pretty interesting. You were in Atlanta and you tell people from Birmingham. Well, that was one of the reasons I started Urbanham, because when I was in D.C., that folks have been saying, "Hey, been down here and they ain't coming down here."
Yeah.
Wow.
But, you know, you had to figure out a better way to tell these stories. So that was one reason I started Urbanham.com.
Okay.
So fast forward now, you guys got access to a lot more availability. You know, think about it. We didn't even have cell phones like that then.
No.
So, you know, we couldn't Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they couldn't see all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you think about everything we've had here so far, the new sports teams and the venues and the concerts and all that.
I think that's the beauty of it too, because I remember working at a makeup counter there, and there was a lady that I worked with, and she was from the islands, and I remember her asking, she was like, "Do y'all have like just dirt roads?" And
yeah, see, they
just
have
dirt roads and
people still like that.
just, you know, like you get around on a horse and buggy.
They still think that.
Yeah. You know, because she's never been here. There are people who legit will not come to Alabama, period, because they think it's just so country.
What they saw in the civil rights movement. So,
you know, and I think the beauty of living in a different city, or just living in a bigger city for a long period of time, or even for a short period of time, you're able to take certain elements from that city that you learn, you know, or just from meeting other people, networking with other people, and you're able to bring it back here.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha. I mean, because I'm from a small podunk town, like real talk. You know what I'm saying? Well, we actually have dirt roads. You know what I'm saying? But I know the difference between my hometown and Birmingham, Alabama. Like, I mean, it's like I used to say when I was coming up here, and I would hear little birdies talking about developments and things that were coming to the city of Birmingham when I first moved up here in like late 2010.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, my thing was at the time before I basically became a Birminghamian, if that's what the thing was. Yeah, Birmingham is eventually going to be a smaller Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And then I befriended Vegas, you know what I'm saying, from 957, and he would always come to Troy whenever I booked him for events. He came to Troy and rocked them and did his thing. So we became friends. So when I came up here, you know what I'm saying, he was the one, again, I stated this earlier, like, he was like, he really get tired of people trying to make Birmingham Atlanta, just point blank period. And when I heard him say that, you know what I'm saying, you could hear it in his voice, like, bro, we Birmingham. Like, we fine with being Birmingham. Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to be nobody else. Like, we have our attractions. We have the things in the city that people love. You know what I'm saying? People can say what they want to say about the violence rate and stuff like that, but it's the same across the United States, man.
Metro growth.
Exactly, man. I mean, you got crazy stuff happening in every single city in the United States. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, when we get to, you know, to urban Birmingham, man, you know, before we jump just straight off into that, man, you know, we normally just ask a little icebreaker question and kind of sort of keep things rolling. So I'm gonna ask you that icebreaker question real quick, and that's gonna be, what R&B or what gospel song comes on and it don't matter where you at, you singing it to the top of your lungs, like,
oh, which one comes on, it doesn't matter,
the top of your lungs.
So now I'm a big Shaka Khan fan, so
for real,
I love
Shaka gonna break
is
it
that
down.
I'ma love you anyway,
you know, is that you know, and she got a bunch of other hits, and then Lila Hathaway came and made remade her songs too, so
okay,
Angel and all that good stuff, so.
Angel is my jam.
So you know,
you know what, I might lose my black card. I don't think I've heard Angel.
You need to listen to Lila Hathaway. Yeah, and then you need to
consistent flying blind most of the time.
I don't think I've heard that.
Drama queen.
And I'm a music fanatic, man.
Don't give me. Thank you. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little water, but anyway, yeah, like, that's my jam. I love that song.
So yeah, I'm gonna sing some Shaka with him.
I'm every woman.
You know, yeah. Well,
yeah.
You know, but you know what you got on the end. I was always known back in the day when I just hang out a lot. You know, see y'all and come the 1st and 23rd. Like I would walk in the door, no matter who was DJing, it'd be a leader, whoever up there. They gonna play Blow the Whistle. They knew it was my song.
Wow.
So I walk in there, did all my friends crunk. So now my friends, when they go out, even if I ain't with them, they sending me videos. They your song, they your song, they your song. Blow the whistle, that was my thing.
That's crazy when you say when you enter a room, you know, you got people that already know, like, kind of sort of like what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed from following you since we've been friends, like there are a lot of people that absolutely adore you. Like I see you supporting a lot of people. You know, every person that you love or that's in your circle that you consider a friend, when it comes to like their birthday or something like that, you're gonna post something, you know what I'm saying, that you done took a picture where you was out hanging with them or whatever the case may be. So, you know, if we were to call one of those people on the phone right now and be like, hey, if you had to describe, you know, Russ in a couple of words, what would they say?
I think they give me some good words. You know, I try my best to, you know, treat people the way I want to be treated.
Grandma.
And I just think we've got this culture here that I felt needed to be nurtured, you know, especially the creative side.
Okay.
Because, you know, we just got a great creative community, and it was always like, we got to go to Atlanta. We got to go somewhere else to really make it. And I've had the opportunity to work, you know, as a business owner and contractor consultant with the city. So I've worked with several different mayors. And now we're seeing like with Mayor Woofing, you know, you're just seeing a real progressive attempt. And he's a part of that creative community too.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a real aggressive attempt to do things for that community that I've never seen before.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you've seen a shift just in the creative community, just from like, let's say 10, 11 years ago. So what does that look like to you now?
So to me, you know, it's definitely with the onslaught, you know, more media. You know, I can think of back in the day, you know, you think of somebody that's doing what Cheston's doing here. Yeah. And they didn't have, this was $200,000 operation then to do that.
Right.
You know, I knew a guy that had a studio that he could do commercials, and he probably spent $500,000 to get that set up, and he was the only guy in town really able to do that. So. Yeah. But still with that, you know, he probably wasn't getting all the work. Right. So, you know, they wasn't sending people just to him, you know, so he still had to kind of get out there and get to work. So now it's much more manageable. You know, you can afford it. You know, now you just got to have the talent to do it. And that's the unfortunate thing about it. You get people that say, hey, I'm a content creator, but then, you know, they don't know how to do that. Don't know how to, they don't know about the camera. Are you creating? They don't know about editing. They don't really know none of that. You know, I do all that on my phone. I use Canva. Well, that's cool, but, you know.
It's Canva.
If you want to keep growing, you got to get to some professional level too.
Exactly. Photoshop still selling for a reason.
That's where you're going to get your, you know, and if you decide you don't want to do that anymore, in order to keep growing, you know, you need to know how to use that. Put you on your resume. They're going to go and see what you've done. I can guarantee you somebody come in and see what the chess has done from ESPN, they're going to be impressed. Right. So, okay. Well, we might need to take this brother on the road with us or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
I'm ready to roll, too.
Name it to claim it.
You see what I'm saying?
Ready to roll,
and,
baby.
And that's I'm not going to say that that's unfortunate, but the fortunate part about it is somebody would do that. Yeah. You know, we may lose him for a little while, but the folks always come back. Right. You know, because he would have to go off and do what he needs to do with whoever. And we see that all the time. Mm-hmm. Folks leaving, they come back, and they just do great things for the city. Mm-hmm. And so right now, we're just seeing a real big boom. In Birmingham, you guys seeing all the stuff. You know, we got professional, semi-pro sports teams. Mm-hmm. We get some concerts. Like, man, come on, we getting Janet Jackson coming here. That would have never happened.
Man, Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock is coming. Them icons, man.
Yeah, and that's because of the renovation to the legacy, you know, which takes some force out. You got to spend some money to do that. Right. That investment is getting people to take a look at the city now that never looked at it.
I can't wait on them to find the real Kevin Hart in, man. I know a friend of a friend of a friend that, you know, kind of sort of semi has a, you know, relationship with Kevin Hart, and they've had the power to bring Kevin Hart here. But I think, and I'm saying this off the record because I don't know, I don't have it written in paper. Kevin Hart didn't say it to himself, but I don't think he's like a real big fan of Birmingham, you know, just because of, I know from certain events that I've been a part of here, with so much thought, so much processing, so much execution, and so much money went into it, and then you get 20 people to walk through the door. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a complete tank. You know what I'm saying? So the one thing that I've learned in this city is if it's gonna support you, it's gonna support you. You know what I'm saying? If it's not gonna support you, it's not gonna support you.
He sold out the last. He had a show here a couple months ago. Legacy Arena sold out.
Wow.
Took the phones up and locked them up.
For real?
Yeah. But but that's another testament of you've got people that know the business now, and promoters that really know what they're doing. Like I was just talking about these guys today to a young lady that I've worked with out in Fort Lauderdale, this Black Promoters Collective.
Mm-hmm.
And so these guys, I knew immediately when they rolled out some shows like right after the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, these guys got it figured out because they had a great lineup. If you ever go to their shows, they got tours through all these cities. You know how much money it takes to book these artists for 30 cities? And we talking not just one, but they might run 3 shows and they got 10 artists among those shows, so like they got New Edition guy, some more folks coming here in March. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think though, like, the New Editions and stuff like that, like them people just ain't never really gonna get old. Just to be honest, it's like bag that thing up. Like it don't matter. You can pay it 20 years from now, it's still gonna do what it do.
Yeah, it's part of our culture,
It is.
Yeah, big deal.
So let's so Urban Birmingham, like when it comes to the industry, what category would it fall under?
So we started off as, and I guess you kind of still say that today. We started off kind of like a directory, if you will. We kind of just people could come to the site and find out. Mostly, it's always been about events, but finding the events, and then we used to try to list businesses. But if you ever get in the process of, and it's a little better now, but the process of trying to register Black businesses and keep that updated.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest part is always the maintenance,
right?
And then I hate to say it, but our culture is just the worst at. We'll start a business and shit ain't working, so we'll be done in 2 weeks.
You don't really work the wheel.
So now you think your database got a bunch of businesses in it that the folks just like, man, I don't want to do that no more. I ain't make no money the first 2 weeks.
Right.
So it's the longevity of it, and then and having a process of vetting people to make sure they're invested. If I walked in here and saw this, he gonna be around for a while because he ain't finna just leave.
Well, man,
you know what I'm saying?
To be completely honest, man, that was probably one of the scariest steps with coming into this studio was like, the amount of money that I used to operate this studio, that's the amount of money that I was actually saving every single month, if not more. That was just being dropped into my savings account. When I came in here, it was supposed to be 10 racks to get everything done. It was double that. You know what I'm saying? So it was, for me, just again, I try to put out the energy that I want back. Going back to what grandma and them say, you treat people how you want to be treated. So any type of way that I can support the people that are around me, I always try to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because they say the best form of advertisement to this day is still word of mouth.
It's still that, because people gonna have to vouch for you.
Yeah.
And now social media has gotten so saturated with, buy this or buy that or do this or do that. Now you don't know if you can trust it. Yeah. Trust factors. And that was a big deal in marketing too. We always talk about used car salesman mentality, whatever. Mm-hmm. They can genuinely feel what you're doing. I've actually walked in rooms with folks, man, and they're like, man, I just like what you're doing, man. What you need me to spend with you? I mean, that literally happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think that happened to me for the first time.
Yeah.
I may say 6 months ago.
Yeah. So
went home for I actually tried to start an official alumni association back home in my hometown, Evergreen.
Okay.
And at the time, I was emceeing and hosting a lot of different events in my hometown. And there was a lady, shout out to Brenda. Brenda Rogers. She is like a real pillar down there in the community. Like if anything going on, she probably got her hands in it some type of way. And she ended up reaching out to me and was like, I seen that you tried to roll out, the thing for the Alumni Association. And she was just like, the thing is, that I've learned over the years with serving our community is you had to take baby steps with them to show them exactly what's going on. So she ran this all alumni reunion type deal for like 5, 6, 7 years. And then she called me one day and she was like, hey, they're ready now.
Yeah.
They're ready now. So she called me and we put a presentation together at her business. I bull junk you not. Only 7 people showed up to find out the information. But the 7 people inside of that room invested in me. And there was one particular guy in this room. He says, the city needs this, the community needs this, and the older heads want it.
Yeah,
he said, I need you to understand that the older heads are the ones who have the money. And I'm telling you that if I put your face out there, they'll support you and give you what you need. He pulled out his checkbook. He wrote me a check. He said, from now on, when we need you in Evergreen to come do anything with this, because we want you to get it off the ground, we're choosing you to do this. He says, you don't pay for your lodge, you don't pay for your travel, and anything else you need, you let me know, and I'll let everybody else know. He was like, I need you to see it through and make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So we're talking about a whole, going through the steps of just telling them, let's make it an LLC first, just so we can get everything we do, and we'll wait on the 501c, the paperwork to come in. Once they come in, we can transfer over things of that nature and just legitimize it as an actual organization so people can jump by. But that was the first time that ever happened to me, man. Like, I've had my next door neighbor, man. She's very, very supportive. Like through and through. And she introduced me to a millionaire here in Birmingham. And she introduced him to me for certain reasons. But once he met me and he came in here, I think he just changed up a little bit on what he specifically wanted from me. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget, one of the last conversations he said, he was just, I'm at a point where I'm just tired of like giving to people. Like I need people to show me what my giving is going to give them, and I was like, I understand that. I said, but I'm a paper person. I said, whatever you thinking that you need from me as an investment or whatever, you need to put it in black and white so I can understand exactly what I'm doing. Because to me, people willing to invest in you if they want to, or whatever the case may be, can almost be just like a 360 deal in the rap game. If you don't know what you're doing and you just take these folks' money, you ain't gonna own your company no more. They gonna own your company. Right. You see what I'm saying?
LeChester, he a paper person, because first podcast I had to fill out sign and stuff. I was like, what in the world, LeChester sent me?
And you know what?
He was about his business.
Yeah,
but
very much so.
And my lawyer told me, he said, every guest you have on the podcast, get a podcast guest release form. And the podcast guest release say, you get on here and you say whatever the case may be, but we're going to broadcast it. You're responsible for what you say. And if you get in trouble for something you say or something you do or get attacked, you can't come attack the what you mean podcast.
That's how you know you about your business.
It's just simple, man. I done have some people that object to it, but I tell them, if you don't want to sign it, it's cool. I appreciate you willing to come, but we're going to move on, because if something transpire or something happens, if a clip with you go viral on TikTok, I don't want you calling my phone, talk about we owe you some money. We don't owe you no money.
But see, that's what people got to start appreciating, when you putting it down on paper like that, that makes it official. They got to start appreciating that. It ain't no back cut, no shortcuts or nothing like that. You're handling the business. And so, I can appreciate that, because, we need to do more of that.
So tell us more about this directory, man. How do we get onto it?
So Urbanham.com, like I'm saying, it kind of started off as a directory. Now, we still do a lot of events, and I've got some, some long-time loyal clients, like the Stardome, that advertise with me. I get, some promoters that come to town and advertise with me, some businesses. And I mentioned the city of Birmingham and the county, and it just whoever needs to get the word out about some things to a certain demographic.
Right.
And that was another thing too. We've been, approached about kind of changing what we do, and why do we just deal with that certain demographic? But that's just what I wanted to deal with. So that was just my piece of the pie. Yeah. And I wanted a loyal base from that, and that's what I got.
Right.
And so, when Facebook came out, and it's funny because I remember when I first started, my dad is an engineer, and he was like, man, I don't know you might not make no money with this because, black folks ain't on the internet, and we weren't.
Right.
So I had an internet business, targeting black folks, and we just wasn't on the internet.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, then Facebook comes out, and I'm like, oh, man, we probably about to shut down because we can't keep up with this. But there was always a way to reinvent yourself, to use those tools to promote what you're doing. Like I heard you mention earlier about, ads and all that stuff. It's vital to what you're doing to grow this. So that allowed us to, reach more people and grow. And so now, what I mentioned earlier to you, two things I want to say. The first thing was, we were talking about, the young lady that was sitting here earlier was talking about, what do you do next? When you were talking about the ads, and I said something about you got to keep going. You heard me say that, and I was telling her, I said, you guys at the age now where a lot of your college friends and people that you went to school with, they're going to start becoming senior VPs and marketing directors and all that. They're going to be calling you for stuff. That's what happened to me. They start calling me. And it's just like, it just happened.
And I received that.
They see what you've been doing. Yeah. And now they're in a position to say, hey, well, I got a budget. They spend it with you because I know you know what you're doing.
Or, hey, I know somebody that needs this service.
Yeah. So they'll start calling you and getting in touch with you and spending money with you. It's going to happen. I tell you, just keep doing what you're doing. that's a big deal. So
that was the major thing that Danny Austin saying as well.
Yeah.
He was like, man, you just got to wait your turn.
Yeah.
It'll come around and it'll be your turn.
And you kind of hate to say it like that, but I mean that's kind of true. But the thing is, you just kind of waiting to you're proving yourself, and then you got colleagues that really know you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to go knock on the door and sell yourself, but when you got people that's coming up with you and they're growing just like you are in their profession.
Right.
So they'll become they'll get their own practice, and they say, well, I need you to come do this for me. Or they'll get their own law firm or pediatrician or whatever the case may be. And then that network just starts growing for you. Then it gets out the state and out the country. You start getting clients from everywhere.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to someone that's wanting to just even start their own business?
I think that's the biggest thing is starting, no matter how small it is, and start. And then always apply some time to it. So even if you have a full-time job, when you get off, you come home and you spend a little time with it. And just slowly grow it. Don't get so caught up in, I didn't sell anything or nobody's calling, my phone's not ringing. I remember my phone didn't ring. And now some days I sit there like, man, I wish his phone started ringing. You know what I'm saying? So it over time, that starts real happening. Then of course you gotta get it wears on you. You gotta start getting in when you're growing, like you're giving out contracts. You're gonna know who to fool with and who not to fool with, because they're like, I ain't finna sign this contract. Well, we ain't gonna fool with you.
But you're not for everybody.
That's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And a guy that I used to, we used to own a bar back then. I heard him tell somebody again, oh man, why y'all prices so? And this was a learning experience for me. He was like, man, why your price is so high? He just looked and said, well, maybe this ain't the place for you.
That part.
Boom, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's got something that they like.
Yeah.
And you just got to attract that audience.
I feel like I can definitely relate to that just as a makeup artist, because even a few years ago, like once the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm about to hang up my brush bill. Like I had seriously considered just hanging it up all together. And God was like, oh, I'm going to show you.
Right. And you started,
And I started getting consistently booked, like, out of nowhere. Like, I'm going to North Alabama. I'm going to Tennessee, going to Mississippi. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, where is this happening? And I had to realize, and even one of my clients was telling me, too, what you do is not for everyone.
Right.
Everyone is not your client. Everyone's not your target audience. Target is not worried about what Walmart is doing.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
like you literally have to look at it that way. Just as a business owner, you're not for everybody, and you have a special certain niche that people come to for you specifically, and that's what you have to focus on honing.
That's right. And the other thing too, is find you. I mentioned this to you too. Is get you either at your bank or get you a good friend that you went to school with that's a banker. If they love doing it, they're gonna always be a banker. And at some point, you're gonna be like, man, I need $200,000. So you need to be able to have some people in your corner that's gonna help you get that and tell you what you need to do to get that.
And you know what, man? That's the part that I haven't tapped into yet.
That's the part. Yeah.
Like, because there are certain things that the banks know that they don't tell everybody.
That's right.
That's
just
why
you need somebody in your corner
that can tell you exactly what you need to do. You see what I'm saying? Because I got a cold call from I bank with PNC. PNC been my bank for a long time.
Right.
And I ain't gonna even lie to you. I was selling cars, man, when I moved up here, bro. I wasn't making no money. And I'm swiping my card on faith that I can get me something to eat. I'm swiping my card on faith that they'll pay these $20 to put some gas just so I can make it to work another 2-3 days or whatever the case may be. And they carried my behind, bro, like through all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, this bank been good to me. So I literally do everything with them. But anyway, Hoover Commons is the branch that I opened up my initial account in. So anytime I need to handle any business, I try to go in there because there was always somebody in there that I knew. Yeah. So there's a new lady over there. She cold calls me the other day, and she's talking to me about, hey, I just wanted to call you and reach out to you, set up an appointment maybe for you to come back in to discuss some of the things that you could do with your account. I said, can I speak freely and honestly? And she was like, yes. I said, look, my personal finances are okay. I said, but what I need to see happen, I need for somebody to call me in to talk to me about my business account. Right. Talk to me about the things that are not out there for everybody to know. That's right. From the business standpoint, so I can fuel my business to keep my business going So it protects my personal. So I ain't got to keep dipping and going into my personal to make sure my business stay afloat. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I get a loan and how do I manage this money so I can use the same loan that I got to pay the loan back even when the money's not there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need somebody to teach me that niche and how to do those things, how to secure funds. And I was like, no disrespect. If you can't bring me in and talk to me about that, I'm good. Like, there ain't nothing else that y'all really can offer me right now that I need. But I need to know about business banking. I need to know how to use this DUNS number that I got. You know what I'm saying? You want to teach me about that? Yeah, I'll bring you some donuts and some coffee. Let's set an appointment. But if you don't want to talk about that, I can't come in. And so you're right, man. Like I thank God for what you just said about the people that you went to college with, the people that you know. You get to a certain age where those people start becoming VPs, directors, and people that can pull strings for you. Like, you know, our first podcast guest for season 2 was Sean Freeman, aka Derek Kennedy. He's an actor. You know what I'm saying? I went to Troy with him. Okay. You know, we had a unique relationship because when I was graduated from Troy, he was the face that I wanted to take over my promotion business and my party business. And we got disconnected because of he changed his phone number, which is smart. He's starting to go places and do things, and he sat in here and told us it's people that's calling his phone out the blue, like they been there for him, like they've been his friend the whole time or something like that. And I wrote him on Facebook and I said, hey man, we're getting ready to start off season 2 of the podcast, and I would love if you would come share the platform, you know what I'm saying, and just talk about what's going on with you and some of your experiences. And he was like, man, I would love that, man. And he was like, I ain't gonna bust your head over nothing like that. He said, this is what I need you to take care of. I said, okay, cool. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna throw something else in there for you. I was like, you know, I'm a photographer. I said, send me your mood board. Let's pick a look off there. We're gonna shoot the look, you know what I'm saying, here, and we'll throw that in as a package where he was like, bet, I appreciate it. And he came, man, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same person that is really sharing the floor and sharing the camera and sharing scenes with A, B, and C-list actors, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's in the room with these people, and he answered me on Facebook, and then he was like, hey man, here's my number, lock me back in again, you know what I'm saying? He was like, why you just didn't never ask me for my number? I said, because if you wanted me to have it, you would have gave it to me. Like, I don't want to be that person that's kind of trying to hound you. But this is going back to what you just said about those people making those moves and being in places where, because when we debut, you know, his episode and we push it out there, of course he's going to share it and tell people about it. Like, as soon as he got here, he took pictures and was like, hey, I'm at La Peak Visuals in Birmingham, blah, blah, blah. I'm finna shoot this episode or whatever. He took pictures with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he showed a lot of love when he was in here. And a person with that platform, that's all you can really ask for. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asking you to guarantee me 1 million followers or nothing like that, but you taking a picture with my staff, making them feel like they're not making you feel uncomfortable. Everybody's just on the same vibe. You sit here, you share the room with us, and you put it out there for the people to know that we're here and when they need to go check us out. That mean the world to me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely hoping that as, you know, the podcast starts to move forward, that we'll have people that know Kim, because Kim know a lot of people. She showed me she knew a lot of people in our first season when we did our Mother's Day and our Father's Day segments, and we were reaching out to entrepreneur and business owner type of mothers and fathers to come in and just talk about the balance of life. You know what I'm saying? As a mother and as a father. And there was some dope people that came in and shared the platform with us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a full round circle, man. I'm just hoping that, you know, God will keep blessing me the way that he blessing me and keep sending some people that I need to share the room with. You know what I'm saying? That can be like, you know, you leave out of here 2 weeks later, hey man, I got this going on. Can you stop by? I want to talk to you about something. You know what I'm saying? Just because you recently just seen me 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that you don't know me or want to give me no work or nothing like that. Right. Sometimes it just come with when you see people. It will just refresh your mind that you seen them. Because I was all over you when you was going with that camera. Every time you move, I was trying to see what you were doing because I'm fascinated with it.
Yeah.
And not only that too, just to piggyback off what you said, but with both of what both of y'all were saying, I'm getting tongue twister. But somebody's always watching you.
That's right. So
yeah, without a doubt, somebody is always watching you.
That's true.
Always, even when you think that they're not. Yeah, they may just, I'm just gonna scroll on by. They watching though.
Yeah, that's true.
They paying attention.
That's right.
It may not seem like it. It may not look like it. They're always watching you. And sometimes those same people who you think aren't paying attention, you think they're not watching, you think they're not, you know, honed in on what you have going on, those will be the same people that'll put your name in rooms of people that you have no idea like who they are.
Wow.
Or anything.
Wow.
That's right.
I think my number one person that does that is Justin Williams. Shout out to my relative Justin Williams, man.
I know Justin.
Hey Justin, hey Justin, boy, you the shit, boy. Hey, I'm gonna put that on TikTok and tag.
Clean dressing real
man. Look there.
Shy,
you see Nuke from a mile away. That nigga out for a 5-mile run. He probably smell like Bond number 9. Yeah. He got on his tights. He matching for the workout, the whole 9. But
I mean, just even I remember you telling me, was it last year? Not like last year, 2021. About you being in Voyage Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Remember?
That was crazy.
Right. And like when you had messaged me, I was like, oh, because I had done an article with them, and then I had mentioned his name to them, and then they reached out. Like,
yeah. And whenever you can get that kind of publicity, somebody
connection.
That's it. So that's pretty good stuff, And you think about what you're doing now with the podcast, and I tell people all the time, you're archiving something.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be here forever.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and man, I go back and look at the stuff even when nobody else look at it, man.
That's right.
Like I had to sit. I'm gonna watch all these episodes 2 and 3 times when I'm editing them and making it the way that I want it and putting it the way that I want it. I mean, that's just kind of sort of what it's gonna be. Like I genuinely enjoy it. I wish it was generating 6 figures for me a year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that could be my focus from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But I know for 2022, I had a goal of starting to film a little web series that I want to do. And I want to pitch it to a network, but at the end of the day, it's so many different outlets now where you can share content and make money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't know about moment.co, or I think it's either moment or momentum. .co, and essentially what you do with that is you can put your episodes on this thing just like any other streaming platform, and people have to actually pay to go and watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Ja, I'm a fan of Big Ja. He and Omega. He make a whole lot of content on YouTube, and he got this series called The Lesbian Homie.
I seen it.
All right, so the lesbian homie. Yeah. Big Ja the truth. Shout out to Big Ja. I bumped with you, bro. Like, so this cat just writing regular content, and it's great content. He's scripting it out. They acting it out. He released.
He the one that say like yams and all this shit.
Yeah, he was talking about yams all the time. Yeah. Oh, Big Ja the truth.
Yeah, he's funny.
No clue.
Yeah, Big Ja the truth. So he
and a lot of people spawned off of what he was doing and got their own series down on that scene.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of YouTubers, bro, they do what a lot of what they call them mega churches. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that a lot of mega churches will grab a smaller church. Yeah. Fund that church for what it needs to do in order for it to come up in level. That's right. But at the same token, they fall under that. So they playing bank. So they basically have to give it back. So a lot of YouTubers do the same thing. So whenever you see another YouTuber bring up another YouTuber, they're essentially doing the same thing. They're sharing content with them, writing them in their content, because they're basically going to make money off of this person and for X amount of time. Yeah. So you could really tell who's in Big Ja's camp, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? He put a lot of people on, especially Sade with her fine self. Sade fine. But yeah, man, so he started releasing these episodes, and he'll release one like every 2 weeks or something, right? But if you wanted to watch the whole series, he was releasing the whole series on moment.co.
Gotcha.
So you could basically go and buy the episodes if you wanted to watch them and you wanted to binge watch them and not wait every 2 weeks for an episode. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he then, incorporated, you know what I'm saying, and copyrighted yams that belong to him. You know what I'm saying? So he making money off of that, and Blue Chew is one of his biggest sponsors right now. Okay. He make a little small skits and commercial for Blue Chew. Yeah. And then, man, I can guarantee you they probably got one D camera just like that right there, shooting it right real quick and then shooting it on, and it's doing what it need to do.
Oh yeah. I like Marvel movies and stuff like that. So I watched this series called New Rock Stars on YouTube, and they just kind of New Rock Stars, and they just kind of break down. It's really nerdy. They kind of break down all the Easter eggs and stuff in these Marvel movies and stuff. But I Googled them one day and they make like $2-3 million a year. Just think, that operation, like the chat said, it's probably just like this. But they make plenty of money doing it.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see that and know how media today can take you anywhere.
Right.
You know, but of course, you got to win over. The challenging part is winning over people's time, because also what it does is we all got busy schedules. You only got so much time that you can give to each media. So now your opportunity is, how do I win them over? So for me with Urbanham, it was just I'm just gonna deal with events. So if you want to, and people will even still call me today and say, well, well, just go to the website, man. I don't remember. We list events, and we list, Black-owned restaurants and just mostly social stuff. Venues and that sort of thing. So that was just my.
Is it free or is it paid, Russ?
No, that part's free. Now, we used to have a paid model, but when content started just getting out there and everybody was doing it, that really devalued that part of it.
Okay.
So now people got Facebook, so we don't really pay you to do. So now for us, it's kind of twofold. What we do is we make money off, Google. We make money off people advertising with us. We added merch during the pandemic. We sell merch down
Merch
there.
look good. Merch look good now.
I need to bring y'all something by here.
Okay, then.
And then the other thing that we're starting to focus on, and you mentioned this earlier both of you did, about people out of the area.
Yeah.
This is a big travel market too. So, we're starting to try to focus on tourism. So when people come to town, they might, man, where's it? This little finicky food is good, but I want a chicken joint. So we want to be able to come to our site and figure out where to go and what to do and all that good stuff.
So I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna drop this nugget on you too, man. I tried to link up with Davenport. Yeah. Davenport is a hard guy for me to get up with for some odd reason, and Danny. Okay. So these three guys, man, us three guys, I created an experience that I wanted to do. I wanted to film it and just release it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So people could see us doing what we do. And I told them, I said, hey, this is the thing. If it ends up being successful, we need to take this experience and we need to put it on Airbnb. So when tourists are coming to the city and they're looking for experiences, they can book this experience because it's going to be an experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's a lot of little irons that I have in the fire that if I can't, the business maturity, all right, the business maturity has shifted me to, if I can't get the backing or support that I need to pull off a new endeavor, I got to keep it on ice.
That's right.
Because I'm already stressed in. You see what I'm saying? So I just talked about that really vague because I didn't want to put it out there and somebody take it and they do it. You know what I'm saying? But when Davenport tell me he ready, when Danny tell me he ready, because these are the two people that I've shared it with about doing it. So I would feel bad to go try to get two other photographers to do it with. And they say they're ready to go. We can make it go. Right. Another major thing that I don't really mind telling you about, and I might need to get with you on it to be completely honest. There, you know how you'll catch Ricky Smiley every now and then on the radio, and when they get to talking about these award shows, how they hate the award show, they really wish that the culture would just focus on the award shows that's for us and make and amplify those and make those big. That's how I feel when it comes to Black artists as photographers, content creators, chefs, all that other stuff. So I've created a whole nother brand called Safari, just strictly for that. But I also created an award show for photographers under different genres. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about that off camera. It may be something that you're interested, may be something that you're not interested in. At the end of the day, Carlos Hall, shout out to you. This is what he taught me. It's always enough money to go around. It is. You know what I'm saying? It's always enough money to go around. And I'm the type of person that at the end of the day, if it's going to be successful, I ain't even that hungry about the money, because you know what? The next 2 or 3 times we do it, it's going to overflow. You see what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like we talked about earlier, like-minded people getting it. It's just about people actually getting it. But since Urban Birmingham has been this thing that's been around for so long that I didn't even know it had been around for that long, and that explains why your events that I've been to, I've never seen an event that you've extended an invitation or Todd said, hey, that's what we going to or what we doing or whatever the case may be. And even the relationship that I tried to develop, that I have with DJ Chocolate, you know, I tried, once she told me how she was doing the stage play and the acting and stuff like that, as I was meeting people, I was always mentioning her name because I done got burned by trying to put people on and they don't show up or that. So the only person I talk about, if you talk about acting right now today, if you ask me if I know somebody that can fit a role, it's gonna be her. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that she'll actually show up. She'll actually do what's being asked to be done to see if they want to cast her, they want to screen her for something. So, you know, word go a long way, and I think word and network with what you're saying and what you're doing is all works hand in hand.
Yeah, it's all a big deal. It's all a big deal.
What do you see for the future of media?
Of media?
Yeah.
That's a good question. You know, I think, you know, at one time we talked about how the internet wasn't even using a quarter of its potential. Mm-hmm. We're probably still there because you got to think, when I started, you know, we didn't have phones. So right now I was out there watching the game on my phone.
Yeah.
Didn't do that then. I was watching, you know, and I can watch anything I want to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you think about your cars, you know, at some point, you know, we'll be able to, people probably do that now, but you can watch programs or whatever you want to do in your car.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that technology is going to keep advancing. And you look how far we've gone. Now, some of these companies aren't even 10 years old.
No.
That are, you know, billion-dollar companies, you know, just for that need for media and content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just going to keep growing, you know. I think it'll keep being defined by young people. So keep watching what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be the ones that's saying, hey, this is what we want. Because we kind of fall into place. You know, I remember when Jasmine was on Facebook and I got on this shit, but I had a stroke. Jasmine's my daughter, you know, from college. So you just watch what young people are doing and you'll see, okay, this is kind of where it's going. But what's crazy is just so much out there now.
Yeah, that's
true. I always tell folks, you know, being a computer science person, you know, it's still just ones and zeros at the bottom.
That's it, man.
It's nothing new under the sun, is it?
And it don't matter what your age is when it comes. If you're a computer person and you like computers, you try to just stay a little hip to whatever technology is going on anyway, because you just never know when you might need it or it's something you want to dib and dab in. Like, it's a lot of, like, I don't really care about, you know, TikTok and Snapchat and all the other stuff, but I need to know how to use it just because of my profession and what it is, you know, so.
Yeah, we say that, but you just watch the kids and they kind of, so, you know, that to me is, you know, is the future's paying attention to what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, and then, you know, some of your top companies, you know, they'll always buy up smaller companies if they see that something is going to be, if you're in the stock market or something, you know, if they see something's going to be big or it's got potential, they're going to buy them up. So pay attention to those kind of moves, that kind of stuff. So, hey, I don't think the virtual world's going anywhere. I don't think remote work's going anywhere. I think they see now they can unload some property. Only those bosses that just got to have their people in their sight are going to be worried about that. But everybody else is probably going to streamline and just make as much money as they can.
All right. So we're going to get ready to turn the block, man. And I don't know if my co-host has one more question, but I'm going to go ahead and put this out here, and then she let me know if she got anything else for you. Where as far as our listeners and support and subscribers and people that we had that are bumping with us right now, if they wanted to support Urban Birmingham because of what you do for the culture and how you're trying to push in the direction you're pushing, what can they do?
Well, the biggest thing, you know, for us is, you know, go to the site, urbanham.com, especially if you're looking for something to do around the city. Every now and then we post content about people doing great things, so you can go there and read that. Restaurants, venues, clothing stores, you know, stuff like that. You know, just anything that's kind of got urban appeal, but it's social. You know, you'll find it there. And then most definitely when you go there, you know, buy some merch. You know, it's cool thing is, you know, and we don't, you know, we're an urban company, so to speak, you know, where we target that the urban community because we want people to know the great things that people are doing.
Right.
But we got a lot of folks that are different nationalities. And I got a guy called me another day, said, man, it's a white guy here walking a little bitty dog with an Urbanham shirt on. Hey, that's what we want.
That's fire, bro.
You know, so
that's fire,
you know,
bro.
I had a guy the other day. He told me, I wanted one. It's a white guy. I wanted one. I got a camo one. I said, that's cool. You know, so you know they understand what we're doing too. You know, it's nothing to separate. It's just like, hey, these are some great businesses. When you want to support somebody, you know, like February is coming up.
Right.
And everybody's going, well, I gotta go spend my money. I want to support a black-owned business. Well, we got a bunch of them on here. Go check them out.
That's what's up,
you know,
bro.
So that's a big deal. Yeah.
I love it.
You got anything else?
What's next for Urban Birmingham?
Well, that's a good question because, you know, as I get older, and that's the funny thing about Urbanham, it's kind of followed me through my path, you know, as I grow, you know. So when I used to like to kick it, you know, we was out kicking it, sponsoring stuff with models and doing all that stuff. As I got older, I was like, man, I don't feel like doing all that. So, you know, it was more about telling stories about people, and I want to do more of that. You know, so I kind of get caught in the crossroad too, because still with Urbanham, I still have a business that I run. You know, we do a lot of graphic work for people.
Okay.
You know, we do some video work for people. So with that, you know, and every now and then I still do some website stuff, which I don't really like doing anymore.
Me neither.
You know what I'm saying? It's just so time consuming. So, you know what I'm saying? So I still got a few clients that I do that stuff for, but I'm going to probably offload that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that and worry more about telling good stories, you know, because I think that tourism and the way the city is going is going to be a big deal. You know, and just kind of paying attention to, okay, who's coming in the city. Yeah. You know, being on the business journal, seeing what buildings are being bought. That way you know who's coming, research those companies. Yeah. And that way you know where to place yourself.
That's dope. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
That's what's up, man. So, web-based application already? So Urbanham, you can convert it to an app?
Urbanham.com. I don't know if I'm going to do an app. I've thought about that for a long time.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah, and I actually had a couple of, we tried a couple times, you know, but my other business, I got a travel company called Recess Getaways. You know, we had an app with that too, and you know, the maintenance part of that was just kind of a little bit more than what we wanted to deal with at the time.
I got you. That's understood.
So, you know, it's just like, you know, come on in, do what you're going to do, pay your money. We're going to tell you where we're going, boom, we out.
Yeah.
So that, you know, all those things come with other expenses.
Yeah.
You know? So that was like, just do an app, but you still got expense, got to maintain it. New updates on the phones.
Yeah.
That app breaking now, people calling you, I ain't got no customer service line. So, so just come to my website. I can make some money when you do that. Urbanham.com.
That's what's up, man. We appreciate it, man. Co-host, you got anything else?
Nah.
We know you got some amazing folks come sit in that chair that probably know everybody, don't you? See, that's what I'm saying. You got your good co-host.
I keep them pretty.
Yeah.
Prettier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she need to be telling them to come over here and see you.
Man, that's what it is, man. Well, look, man, Russ, we appreciate you coming and blessing the mic, blessing the platform, man, talking a little bit more about Urban Birmingham, man. So for those of you, if you don't know what it is, man, the information is actually up on the screen right now. Go and give the website a click. Notice I said a click. That means when you put it in and you hit enter, that's a click. And then we want you to click around and search around. But most importantly, man, I'm going to make sure I go and cop me some merch, man, so y'all can see me with an Urban Birmingham shirt on soon for season number 2, man. And in the meantime, between time, if you don't mind, man, do us a favor, man. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching us right now on YouTube, man. If you're bumping us right now because you're listening to it on your favorite podcast platform, do us another favor, man. Subscribe and follow that as well. Leave some comments, man. We would love that, man. And until next time, I'm your host, LaCheston.
I'm your co-host, Kim.
And you already know what it is, man. Peace.